Well, today we're talking about sunscreen, one of my favorite subjects that I love because I love the sun so much. But the secret around sun protection in everyday beauty is our topic today with Arielle Moody. And we're going to discover 5 things you didn't know when it comes to protecting yourself from the sun. Arielle is the co-founder and product developer of Mama Soul. And while pregnant, while with her first child, shocked by how many toxic ingredients were lurking in everyday products, and after trying dozens of natural mineral sunscreens, she was determined to create one of her own. One that didn't make her immediately want to wash her face. We've all been there. And two, didn't leave that white cast all over your skin. And it needed to be something she looked forward to using every day. So, as Mama Soul's product development whisperer, Arielle has been immersed in beauty industry her entire adult life, and starting as a beauty sales trainer at Smashbox, Dr. Perricone, and Bite Beauty, then rising to become the head of product development for Skinn Cosmetics, and most recently the head of sales for a leading cosmetic packaging and formulation company. She always knows one thing, that she would one day create her own product, something truly different that had not been seen before. Arielle, welcome.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited to be here.
Yeah, me too. And you're coming from California, the state where you definitely want to have your sunscreen. I was mentioning we lived in Laguna Beach for 10 years, definitely had to have our sunscreen. When I was living there, it was very hard to find any kind of sunscreen. I mean, I was always searching high and low for something to put on myself and our kids at the time when they were young. But now it's so nice to find you, to find your product, to hear your story. Of course, you have a great story. It often involves mothers wanting to find a product that, I mean, looking at the ingredients that these mothers are putting on their babies and on their children's skin. And not only that, but adult skin, and developing organs and hormone disruptors. So I'm so excited to find out more about Mama Soul. So before we dive into that a little bit, I know I gave a little bit about your history, but
Yeah.
how did it come to be and what inspired you to do this?
Yeah. So when I was 5 months pregnant with my first son, I have two boys, 4 and 7. I could not find a mineral sunscreen that I
Mm.
loved. It was more about the fact that sunscreen was just so toxic. And the chemical oxybenzone was found in about 90% of sunscreens on the market at the time.
And
And it,
don't worry about your dog, by the way. I know you're probably like, oh my God, my dog. So sorry I interrupted you.
that's
It's a
okay.
podcast and we're okay with it. My dog might bark too. So go on.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, so oxybenzone has been found in breast milk. It causes skin allergies, cell damage. It was destroying coral reefs. And so when I realized how toxic the sunscreen category actually was,
Mm.
I was like, why is this in our sunscreens? Like, why is this even on the market? So, with that being said, I decided, because I have so much industry experience, I didn't just wake up one day and decide that I was going to launch a sunscreen brand. I was very intentional for me that I was going to launch a brand one day. I didn't know exactly what it was going to be. And when the light bulb went off, I hired a chemist and created it on my own.
Amazing. I love it. I love stories like this. I mean, did you did you say you hired a chemist?
I did.
Yeah, because you have to with something like that.
Yes.
And fascinating to me. And I love it that you use it on your children now, I presume.
Yeah. So the face sunscreen, I have three products. We have face, body, and lip. And I suggest using the body on the kids. The face is really meant for you. I mean, it's not going to be harmful whatsoever to use on your kids, but it does have anti-aging ingredients, and
Mm,
it
okay.
has advanced actives that are going to protect you from blue light from your screens and devices,
Mm.
from IR rays, which is the heat you feel from the sun. So it's definitely more a premium product.
Very interesting. I know all the women listening here will love that because not only you're protecting your skin from the sun, you're also protecting it from giving it some additional resources to anti-age
Yeah.
or slow it down at least. So now you worked in the beauty industry, you worked with some top brands, you came up with this formulation. What did you like? You must have been in your like, I always thought this, like, I wish I worked in the product industry to develop some products because I know there are so many more products that are needed out there that there's just crap on the shelves.
Yeah.
Sunscreen is definitely one of the top ones. I created an all-purpose cleaner because there's junk out there
Yeah.
that I would never spray in my house or never put anywhere near my countertops. So I did that, but that's an easy task. That's just water and vinegar and some essential oils.
Yeah.
But sunscreen's a whole nother ball game. And is it regulated, by the way?
Yeah. So any sunscreen on the market, if it has to be FDA approved. So
Okay.
you have to make sure that it says active ingredient and it lists the active ingredient separate from the other ingredients. So if your listeners are wondering what is the difference between mineral and chemical, right?
That was one of my next
That's a
questions.
I think
Thank
that's
you.
a good place to start just so
Yes.
people understand. So mineral sunscreen, you want to think of it like a physical shield that actually physically blocks UV rays from penetrating the skin. It reflects them back. Whereas chemical sunscreen absorbs the rays into the skin, and chemical sunscreen absorbs into the skin and needs about 15 minutes to work. Whereas zinc based or titanium dioxide based sunscreen, which is mineral physical, works right away upon application.
Yeah, it's very simple. It deflects the sun off of your
Correct.
skin. And not only are you putting chemicals into your skin on the chemical sunscreen, I always tell people, and then you're baking those into your skin too.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
so many of them are known carcinogens, which
Yep.
are just, the ingredients that these chemicals companies are putting into these
Yep.
products, let alone all the fragrance and everything else they're putting into it, are just, who knows, maybe
I
that's what's causing cancer or attributing to it as opposed to, the sun is causing cancer.
Well, this is
But
the thing. I don't want to put it out there that any type of sunscreen causes skin cancer. I think
nope, yep,
that's kind of a fear mongering tactic that a lot of influencers are putting out on social media. And
I've
I want
seen
to,
that.
yeah,
Yeah,
and I think it's really important for everyone to just use whatever you prefer, but know what you're putting on your skin. Know, like, be educated on what you're choosing,
right.
but wear sunscreen because that is more important to protect yourself from getting skin cancer than anything else that you're yes.
Yeah,
Can you wear
burning your
clear?
skin. Yeah.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, and that's what the sun is so much stronger these
Yep.
days than when I was growing up. I was a lifeguard as a
So
kid.
was I.
You were too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I have dark skin and I'm Lebanese, but uh, it's just a different ball game these
That's
days.
right.
So that's a difference between chemical and mineral. Anything else in there with ingredients wise that we should
Yeah,
let people know?
so we also decided to make our whole entire line is silicone free. So
Mm.
silicone suspends zinc oxide, which is why so many formulators choose to use it because it prevents separation. But what you might not know is silicone tends to clog your pores and they're also not biodegradable. So we are really trying to use sustainable ingredients and then also sustainable packaging, which I can get into as well.
Is silicone petroleum based too?
Silicone is it's no, I don't think no, it
I
depends.
wonder.
No, I don't think those are
Okay, I was just curious
yeah.
because
I
that's
mean
something
petroleum based, yeah.
you don't want in the ocean. So I love the sustainability part of
Yeah.
your sunscreen because you are aligning with environmentally conscious principles
Yes.
and explain that a little bit further and the packaging for that matter too.
Yeah, so our packaging, let's get into that because I think
Mhm.
people don't even sometimes think about that when they're buying their products. So our face sunscreen, which is 100% mineral SPF 30, it's a 3-in-1. I'm just going to go into a little bit. It's your
Yes.
SPF, your daily moisturizer, and your skin smoothing makeup primer all in one.
Do
It
you have
smells.
any right there with you? Because this eventually will be up on YouTube.
Yep, it's right
Let's
here.
show them. There we go.
So
Great packaging.
thank you. So it also has a subtle hint of lavender essential oil, which is,
Mm,
we like to say, if sunscreen and a spa day had a baby, you get Mama Soul. And it's
love that.
really it's really in there to encourage you to take a deep breath with each use. And then we have our body sunscreen. So the body sunscreen is made in a sugarcane tube. So tubes are not recycled in the US. So instead of using petroleum-based plastic to house the formula, we chose to use a bioresin, which degrades more easily, and it's not made with petrochemicals. So, and then our lip oil, which is right here, is also in glass. And this is, and you can see them together. So the lip
Oh,
oil
love
and the
that.
face are in glass and the body's in sugarcane. And 80% of women's hormones are out of balance. And a lot of it is due to microplastics.
Mm-hmm.
So when you think about what you're putting on your skin, think about the ingredients, but also think about what it's packaged in, because the formula, just like our water gets microplastics in the water, the same thing can happen with our skincare products, and you're putting it directly on your skin. So just think twice when you're making that choice of what product to buy. Just, go one step further.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, say it over and over and over. Read your ingredients, know your labels.
Yes.
And I mean, this is something you put on your skin almost every day in the summer, at least
Right.
summer here, but no matter what, everybody puts sunscreen on and everybody should put sunscreen on. So, and your sunscreen, is it accessible? Like, can people buy it online? Can they
Yes.
find
So
it somewhere
you can buy it at shopmamasol.com
on the website, right? I
on the
saw that.
website. And we're also sold in places like the Four Seasons. We're sold in the Fairmont hotels. We're sold in high-end spas and resorts. And we're also just launched on Grove Collaborative, which is a clean,
Oh,
if
Grove.
you're familiar.
Mm-hmm.
So Grove Collaborative is like Thrive Market. It's a clean e-commerce site. You have to be real. They have very strict ingredient lists that you have to adhere to. So we passed that. So that should make you feel pretty confident with what you're purchasing. So that was like our big first e-commerce launch outside of our website and spa.
Yeah, very great. I mean, pick it. Do you have a subscription too
On Grove,
on
it's a
Grove?
subscription model. Yeah.
Okay. I know a lot of people love subscriptions, so they don't even have to think about
Yeah.
reordering. Good for you, good for them, right?
Yeah.
And what about anything new down the line,
Yeah.
future?
So we're working on 3 new SKUs for next year. I'm working on 2 formulas that are tinted with SPF.
Mm.
And then we're working on a new body sunscreen as well. Our body sunscreen just won a national award though, so I would love to share.
Yay,
I'm really proud of it.
yes.
So
Congrats.
our body Brella, which is 100% mineral hydrating milk, just won best body SPF from Shape magazine. And our
Wow.
tinted lip oils with SPF just won best lip gloss with SPF from New Beauty, which is one of the top publications in the beauty industry. And then the Shop Today Awards just voted it best tinted lip oil. So we're excited.
That's awesome. Where are you out of, or where are these products out of, or is there?
Everything's made in California.
That's great. So you keep it in the
Keeping it
country at least. Yeah,
local.
keeping
Yes.
it local, keeping it country. And you have a community too that did you start the community yet?
Yeah, so our Mama Soul community. So I do it's kind of like a mini podcast every month. If you follow us on Instagram at Shop Mama Soul, or if you sign up for our newsletter, you'll get informed of when we will do it. But every month I bring on a wellness expert, world-renowned dermatologist. I've done sex and intimacy coaches. I've even had psychics on. I've had everything that has to do with wellness. And I bring them on and essentially just bring information that I myself curious about to the forefront that can better the lives of those who are listening. And in addition, this weekend in Venice in California on Abbot Kinney, which is a famous street in Venice, we're hosting a wellness event for our community, which is going to have manifestation, breath work, and sound baths. So we really like to give back to our community in the ways we believe will help them the most.
I love it. So now you're in a very competitive market. How did you break through? What did you have to do?
Yeah.
Um, a lot. I
That's a,
mean,
that's a great
you have
question.
experience, I would imagine, just being
Yeah.
in the industry, but
Yeah,
it would scare me.
I think coming from the beauty industry and having a point of view, unlike most founders, being that I came from packaging and formula and sustainability, that's pretty unique in my industry. I think that gave me a leg up. Um, and then in addition, within 3 weeks of our first launch of our face formula in 2023, we were organically featured on Access Hollywood. We
Oh,
had a PR team that handed our sunscreen to an editor at People Magazine, and she loved it so much that she gave it to the editors at Access Hollywood,
wow.
and they ended up putting us on. That really helped with our just credibility and validated what we were doing. And then I really to really break through in this competitive market, you don't go right in, you don't go right up to Ulta and Sephora and try to get a deal. You have to start more organically on the ground floor, and we're bootstrap business. So I made a list of all the top spa counts in that were local to me, went knocking on doors and landed pretty much all of them. And that's how we got our start.
Wow, just knocking on doors and
Just
saying,
knocking
here's
on
my
doors.
product.
Yep.
A lot of people don't think it happens that way, but that's really the, ground up.
Yeah. I mean, the when and then once you do that, you can start looking into doing trade shows, and that's what I've been focusing on this year. And
Mm.
this year we're going into our 11th Four Seasons account, so as we're very excited.
What about Whole Foods? Have you thought about having it at Whole
Yeah,
Foods?
we're in talks with clean grocery stores as well.
Mm-hmm.
The sky's the limit. We're looking
Yeah.
into retail, we're looking into grocery, and I'm just kind of keeping an open mind as to where we will fit in best.
And you have room to grow, I presume?
Oh, absolutely. We're scaling as we speak. I'm just brought on 3 new salespeople to help me, and we have a whole team. But I think letting go of control and delegating tasks to other people has been really good for me, because I have been doing kind of everything minus what my COO and co-founder has been doing. So we're slowly scaling and hiring more help.
Yeah, you and I are very similar. We're both manifestors. It's hard to let go. You
Yeah.
want control.
Yes.
But I know that's played a role in your entrepreneurial journey and
Yeah.
personal life, right?
Yeah, for sure.
It's
Hmm.
it's I deal with it all the time, but it's even more rewarding when you do hand it over and you see that, oh my God, I didn't have to do that, right?
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
it's allowing so much more space for me to focus on the things that I love.
Yeah, definitely. So I want to talk a little bit more about because I hear about the because somebody put suntan lotion on and then they go in the ocean and then that suntan lotion is going into the ocean and
Yeah.
potentially destroying um,
The coral reefs.
coral reefs. Thank you. Couldn't get that out of my head. And I think that's besides what you're putting on your skin for people to realize that this is, very, very important. What can you explain about? I don't know a lot about it. I read about it, and it makes me sad to think that, so many
Yeah, so the
things are.
studies were done on oxybenzone, which
Oh,
showed that,
that's right.
yep, that showed the destruction and bleaching of coral reefs. So
Right.
there still needs to be more studies done on even mineral sunscreen, but from what we know, it is safer to use mineral sunscreen than to use chemical sunscreen when you're swimming
Mhm.
in the ocean. So that's another reason why mineral sunscreen is the best choice for me personally. So that for all your listeners out there, it's really just important to get educated. Just
Mhm.
know the difference.
Right, right. Definitely. Now, at the very beginning, I talked about 5 things you didn't know when it comes to protecting yourself about the sun.
Yeah.
Let's go
So
through those.
I would love to share that. I think this is really important because there's a lot of things that people are confused about when it comes to sunscreen. So I'd love to clear up a few things and
Hmm.
then also share some things that might be surprising. So when you hear SPF 30 and SPF 50, it sounds like that's a huge difference. But what it really means is SPF 30 actually only protects you from 97% of the rays and SPF 50 only protects you from 98% of rays. And I don't mean to say only, I meant 97 versus 98. We're talking about 1% difference. So the rule of thumb is use SPF 30 and up. Okay. The second thing is cloudy days are not a free pass. Up to 80% of UV rays still reach your skin, even when there's an overcast. So I think one of the things that I really want to get through to your audience and everyone listening is people say, oh, I'm living in, like you said, I'm living in Buffalo. We don't, it's not as sunny here. Well, just because you're not getting burned doesn't mean you're not having skin damage. Mm-hmm. So UVA rays UVB rays burn, UVA rays are the aging and they lead to melanoma. They're longer rays. And so even though you're not getting burned, you're still getting a lot of skin cell damage. Even just sitting by a window all day or going for a walk, the cumulative damage is very high if you are not protecting your skin. Okay, another one, flying in the sky is a major UV exposure. So there was a recent study that came out that said that by sitting next to a window seat with the window up for an hour is equivalent to sitting in a tanning bed for 30 minutes.
Wow.
So when I'm on a plane, I shut the window, or if the window's open, I have sunscreen with me. Okay. Reapply and apply enough. So I think sunscreen wears off throughout the day and you need to reapply every 2 hours. So you want to use 3 swipes on your fingers for your face and neck, and then a shot glass for your body. And one thing that I do to help me remind me to cover my body is I keep and a reason why we made the packaging beautiful was so that it would sit on your bathroom counter and you'd be reminded to use it every day. But one thing I like to say to people is a lot of people wear pants every day, even when it's hot, they'll still wear pants. So one thing I will tell you, cover your arms, hands, and décolleté and your neck. If you can get in the habit of covering those parts of your body every day, you're going to look a lot younger, first of all. And it's the most that your neck and around that area is very delicate, and your face, of course. So you just want to make sure to protect your skin. Okay. The other thing is umbrellas only block part of the rays. So shade does not equal safety. So reflected UV rays from sand, water, or pavement can still reach your skin even if you're undercover. So it's really important not to get false sense of security from this umbrella. You still need to wear sun protection or clothing, sun protection clothing under the umbrella.
Wow. Eye openers. A lot of that is definitely to think about, and those are just all different ways that it can get you during the day or, just even walking. I know I walk every morning we walk early when the sun comes up just to avoid the sun on us for a full hour.
Yeah. And I think there's also some people, I just want to address this too, because there's a lot of fear mongering going on around sunscreen, especially around getting your vitamin D absorption. And I interviewed a world-renowned dermatologist and we talked about this because I was curious too. And he said, you can get your vitamin D from supplements. You can get your vitamin D from food. It's way more important to protect your skin from skin cancer. I know people have had skin cancer. It's not pretty and you don't want it. There's other ways to get your vitamin D. And so if you have to choose one or the other, you protect your skin. And the other thing is just going out for 15 minutes a day without sunscreen at a higher point of the day is enough to get all your vitamin D that you need. So 15 minutes, wear your sun protection throughout the rest of the day.
Yeah, that's what I do typically.
Yeah.
I go out and sit out there for 15 minutes, close my eyes and come back in.
Exactly.
My sister sits there and opens up her eyes to get it into her eyes, not to stare at the sun, but
right. No, that's good.
Yeah, definitely. Well, what did we miss on our list of things we want to make sure we cover? We know they can find you on your website, right?
Yep, that's right. And we also have a discount code for your listeners, Green Mama 15. So you can get
green,
15.
It's Green Mama 15. Okay.
Green Mama 15. And you can find us at shopmamasoul.com. You get 15% off all of the products on the website. And then you can also follow us on Instagram at Shop Mama Soul.
Yes, and of course, look at her website too. She's got all these different, as you mentioned, podcasts, different. They're all listed there, which are fun to listen to. I listen to
Yeah,
a
we
couple of them.
have if you go to our YouTube channel, it's Mama Soul Mineral Sunscreen. We have a whole list, I think a year's worth now of episodes. Anything from manifestation, I told you, to dermatology, to parenting coaches from Stanford. I mean, it's really, I think people would really enjoy it, and it's free.
Yeah, absolutely. And how are your two little boys with you putting sunscreen on them from Mama Soul every
Oh
day?
gosh, that's a whole nother story. I mean, listen, you do your best. And I
Yeah.
will say to the parents that use like sprays, that's really not getting the sun protection that your kids need. It's
Hmm.
lotion. As much as they don't like it, it's really the best way to protect your kids. So that's why we are sticking by that. And if you want to touch up with a stick, that's great. But using a standard traditional white lotion for sun protection is the surefire way to get full sun protection for your kids. You know, there's tricks. You can bribe them. I'm just kidding. you know, or you
Always
can
good.
yeah, you can. A lot of people actually are putting it on makeup sponges and blotting it onto
Mm.
the face that way. And then they, they have a sensory thing, right? When you're putting on sunscreen. But otherwise, when I'm putting it on other children, they love it. I mean, they
Mm.
love how good it smells because it doesn't smell like chemicals and
Yeah.
toxins. It smells like a nice, subtle hint of lavender essential oil. Who wouldn't
That
want that?
who wouldn't? Oh my God. Perfect. It's my favorite. I love lavender, which your background is lavender, of course.
Yeah,
So
very
that's very
calming.
fitting, very calming.
Yeah.
Now, what about just very curious? I'm thinking, okay, when the kids go to a friend's house, you probably already lather them up with their lotion before they go
Yes,
over there. Yeah.
I do.
It's funny when people come, when I go in people's homes, they're scared for me to come in their home because I'm going to like analyze everything, which of course I do.
Yes.
I don't say it verbally unless they want me to,
Yeah.
but so you're the sunscreen. Do they have a nickname for you at all? Like this
Sunscreen mama.
mama, there we go. Well, it's a good thing because we need people like you to bring out products like this that will really give people an open eye about sunscreen
Yeah.
and options. We did not have options as kid. We did not have options. Even 15 years ago, there weren't many options out there. So I congratulate you on
Thank
everything
you.
that you are doing. I look forward to seeing Mama Soul grow, grow, grow.
Thank you.
And the more people that buy it, the more people that are going to benefit from all of your research and knowledge and everything you put into it to protecting their kids' family and their entire family skin. So I look forward to seeing you down the road, Arielle, somewhere along the way, maybe one of these shows, and our paths hopefully will cross. And I appreciate everything you're doing to help people live a healthier and greener lifestyle.
Thank you, T. I loved being on and you had great questions for me. So thank you.
Absolutely.